Oh man, when you hear that sound, you just get super hyped up. Well, you know what? You know what that sound means? Nintendo Switch! So today I thought we could review the Nintendo Switch, son. Now, we won't be including some of the other consoles, but yeah, we will be talking about them and how the Switch has improved, and we will also talk, is the Switch better than the Wii U? I know some people have answered this question a long time ago, but we're going to actually seriously thorough and think about this question. Is it actually true? Let's find out. When the gamepad, or the Wii U, okay, let's just restart that. The Wii U had the newest addition to its system, the gamepad. The gamepad was used for a lot of fun stuff. For example, like playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Mario Kart 8. Sorry, I'm thinking about something else. You know what I'm thinking. Mario Kart 8. Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U. Super Mario Maker. And plenty of more games that you could play. The next interesting thing was that it introduced that it still played Wii games. That was wonderful for its time. If you still had a lot of Wii games and you still wanted to play some of them, you could do it. Now I know that the Nintendo Switch has the same thing, but the Switch doesn't have. But the gamepad is super nice to play on. The buttons and everything are kind of like the Switch Pro controller. Granted, I don't have one, but yeah, it's still very nice to mash and push those buttons. Oh, it's so satisfying to press all those buttons. They're so mushy in color. They're so mushy. Granted, I know that this is this is an older console, but it's still fun to play on, even if you do own a Wii U in 2019. I know people have said, oh, you shouldn't own a Wii U in 2019. But I still own one. I have a Switch right now. How could you not? How could you resist? How could you say no to this little thing? It's so cool. Look at this thing. It's so cute. Look at this little thing. It's just got this giant system. It kind of matches the Nintendo Switch, sort of. Compare this. Granted, the Switch is granted, the Wii U gamepad is bigger, but the Switch has the same screen, sort of. And if you compare them, granted, yes, the Wii U probably the Switch one is bigger, but the Wii U is a bigger system. Has a bigger gamepad. So this was a new thing back in the year 2014 or 13. I don't know when it came out, but it came out sometime. It had some of the coolest games. And I'll name some of them. Super Mario 3D World, Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U, Super Mario Maker, and Mario Kart 8, and the list just went on and on and on. The Wii U had some darn good games during its day. Even some of my favorites were ported. Like, you remember Lego Batman 2, right? Well, they made it for the Wii. Well, guess what? They made it for the Wii U. A Wii game that's now been ported to the Wii U just tells you that people really should have bought this console more than they did. Granted, I know that there's there's been some talk and there's been some, you should buy a Nintendo Switch. But in all honesty, this is one of the greater consoles to go to. Even I know the Switch is newer, and even if you do not like it, it's still a good console to own, even in 2019. Now, I know, and I've heard a lot of people say this stuff like, oh, you shouldn't own a Wii U in 2019, and I've seen these stupid videos where people, say, oh, I'm owning a Wii U in 2019. Well, you know what? It's okay if you own a Wii U in 2019. I didn't even get mine until this year, just a few days ago, so, yeah, come on. Now, granted, we got this a couple years back, but yet it's still fun to play, even if you aren't a fan of the game. Even if you aren't a fan of the Wii U is still a good console to own, even to this day. Its games still treasure me, because that was my childhood. I kept hearing about the Wii U. I kept always hearing about that. Granted, I'm 11, yes, but still. This is still one of the better consoles to own. Even if, Nintendo does release new consoles, it's still a pretty darn good console to have. Even just like a Wii, if you still own a Wii today, it still holds up. Granted, motion control still exists, but that's okay. That was okay during its time, but it's still fun to play. So, alright, we finally get to talk about the Nintendo Switch. I get to gush about my favorite Nintendo console ever. Now, the Nintendo Switch has a lot of features that the Nintendo Wii U didn't have. Number one, for its portability. The Wii U didn't have portability, so you couldn't take games on the go and just play them anywhere, anytime, anywhere. But the Switch, thankfully, introduces this and a whole brand new console. The Joy-Cons are very nice to have if you want to play games with friends. Thankfully, 2 are included in the box, so it does help if you want to play. But I mean, you know, the Nintendo Switch is a very good console, but there's still some stuff that needs to be fixed. Like, for example, these buttons down here. They make absolutely no sense whatsoever. They look like the D-pad. They literally look like one of those controllers like, I can't think. What was it? Like a D-pad almost. I know it probably is something like that, but it just kind of looks weird. Just make the D-pad if you want to have a D-pad. Even the Wii U just went ahead and made a D-pad for games like that. That was wonderful. But the Switch just had this. So I'm assuming it's a D-pad, but I mean when you play games with friends, it's kind of a bit different. The Switch finally, one of the Nintendo's consoles finally has a kickstand. The Wii U didn't have a kickstand, so it wasn't able to still, like I said, play games on the go. And another great pro about this is if you wanted to play games like Super Mario Party for the Nintendo Switch, they came with these. These little wrist straps are very useful. I still haven't learned how to put them on. I'll probably look them up, but I'll probably have to watch a video on how to put these things on. They're so cute, but so hard and ridiculous to put on, but they're super fun for playing with games. I mean, they're so cute. Look at this. It even includes the minus and the plus in the D-pad. I mean, the plus and the minus sign. I mean, come on. You can't get any better than this, right? Since the Nintendo Wii U didn't have the greatest port, since you couldn't just play games on the go, you had to be relatively close to the Wii U console. Thankfully, the Nintendo Switch doesn't have to be relatively close to anything except Wi-Fi. That's okay because, you know, some consoles, it's okay. I mean, yeah, it's not great, but I mean, hey, I'll take what I can get. Granted, Nintendo Switch's kickstand kind of does look a bit flimsy and it's going to break, and it does take a lot of effort and force. I swear I'm going to break that thing, but I swear I'm going to break that kickstand. But it's okay, but it's still very nice to play games. But it's still very nice to play games on. I mean, I can, like, set my thing up, take my Joy-Con controllers off, and like I said, just simply play Mario Maker 2 or something like, just simply play something like Mario Maker 2. It's still wonderful to have. Even if the Joy-Cons can just fit in my hands barely, it is kind of nice to have. Even though these Joy-Cons are way too tiny, they can fit in my hands, it's okay because, you know what, at the end of the day, these little Joy-Cons are super fun to play with. They kind of bring back little times. You know the Joy-Con, yeah, you know. The Joy-Cons are super nice. I think they're great for games. But games like, you know, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, it's not so much. Mario Maker 2 makes sense because you each have to have a Joy-Con. But Mario Kart 8 Deluxe isn't the greatest way to play that. I would suggest you play probably in handheld mode or with something else, and I'll show you that right now. Like I said, you probably wouldn't want to play with the Joy-Cons sideways. I would suggest you play in handheld mode, or you take one of these little babies that come with your Nintendo Switch, simply slide them in, and play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe that way. That's my opinion. It's up to you. It depends on how much you like the Joy-Cons. If you love the Joy-Cons and you love playing with them, great, that's good for you. But if you don't like playing with the Joy-Cons, I recommend you play in handheld mode or buy 2 Pro controllers. I would recommend if you want to play, you buy either a Pro controller or 2 more Joy-Cons with that, or, you know, I guess really in all honesty, if you don't like the Joy-Cons, you need to just play in handheld mode. I mean, it's okay with the friends sometimes, but it's really hard to drive with these things. I mean, just try and imagine trying to drive with these things. Oh, I can't imagine. But hey, at least thankfully but hey, it's okay. I'm glad at least that, you know, they made a Pro controller. So if you don't want to play with the Joy-Cons and you don't love them nearly as much as you should, because I love them, because I love those things, they're so cute. I mean, they're just so cute. Look at this. They're just so tiny and cute. Look at them. And I love the inclusion of the ZL and ZR buttons when you have to press to play games with friends. But that's off the topic. So I recommend you buy a Pro controller for one of your, if you want to play with a friend, buy a Pro controller. If you don't want to play with the Joy-Cons, slide them into place. Now I don't have a Pro controller yet, but I'm gonna get one eventually, probably for Christmas or something, but you know, that's okay for now. But if you do want to play on the Nintendo Switch if you do want to play sideways with Joy-Con, this is your best option to play multiplayer right now. If you do want to go ahead and get a Pro controller, that's okay. But I mean, you know, I wouldn't recommend spending $1 million on Joy-Cons because they're $80 right now. So, I mean, that's okay. It's okay. The Switch is new, but I mean, there shouldn't be that much. But that's just my opinion. Now, the Joy-Cons can be a bit difficult to take on and off, but they're still wonderful consoles to play on. It's still wonderful to have and play. I mean, just look. How could you not love these little things? How could you not? If you play in handheld mode, like right now, if you turn this like this, it's wonderful to play in handheld mode. And if you want to play with a friend, simply slide off one of these Joy-Cons back here, and bada bam, bada boom, you get them. It's super fun to play, and it's wonderful to have. Thank goodness that the Nintendo Switch finally fixed some of the problems that we all needed to have fixed. The Wii U, unfortunately, didn't have what it should have had. It didn't have portability. Granted, it was a home TV console. It should have been a portable game because some of the games on that system were awesome. I would have loved if they had made this like a game, if they made a Wii U Lite where you could take games on the go. I think people would really enjoy that more than they would the Wii U just having to play literally just like this 24/7, 365, 24 hours, like that. I mean, actually 12 months, 364, 24/7. That's kind of hard. 1,000,000 seconds a day. Come on, that's kind of hard to play. But thankfully, the Nintendo Switch fixed our problem with portability. Now, let's get on to one of the best parts of this system. Let's get on to the best part of this system. So remember how the Wii U had the home thing? Yeah, like you could play on TV mode? The Nintendo Switch has it, and it's even better. If you buy a screen protector, please do if you don't want this to get scratched. It includes the dock, and right now, I'm going to show it to you. So this is the dock that it comes with. This is the little tiny dock. So simply take your thing, take your Switch. Yeah, you see this? Carefully slide this in, and bada bam, bada boom, you got games, son. Granted, you'll have to plug in your charger, but that's okay too. It's still a good thing. Thanks, Nintendo, for making portability and home consoles. Okay, now you're probably thinking, alright, come on, which one is the best? Well, you're going to have to find out in the part 2, because there's still so much to talk about on this little system and the Wii U. Thank goodness, right? Anyways, thanks for watching, and see y'all later.